they're ready for it.
I don't know. Are they ready for the jackets of gravity, though?
Is Gravity ready for the jackets of gravity? They were yesterday. Trying to join that tie at the top of the standings.
All right, so...
Wouldn't that be something if the top two after... The top three after 2 weeks of the NLCS were CLG, TSM, and Gravity. And Saintvicious' team.
Yeah. Indeed, they've definitely put up a fight as they came in. A great composition all around. Cop and Bunny FuFuu able to make plays, solo lanes as well, and Saint making things happen. So as the bans are now all the way done, mid lane got a pretty good hit here in the ban phase, top lane as well. First pick's going to be Sivir.
Kassadin, the most banned champion here, 84% of games.
She always pops up.
That's actually the first Xerath ban we've seen. The bans live reflect the overall percentage of bans, or percentage of games they've been banned in, even with the first game. So going forward, we will never see a 0% under a ban.
Right. Wondering if that Xerath ban could be like a Keane Cassio, maybe? I don't know. Play some crazy stuff. We will see the Lissandra by Hauntzer locked in. And Saintvicious grabbing Jarvan as well. The expansion tournament, I was like, Saint, what's with the new team? Who, who's everybody? Who's Hauntzer? And as Saint's always a man of few words, he's just like, Hauntzer's the real deal. I was like, all right, I guess we have to see. Hopefully he can prove that for himself.
Yeah, he's actually been playing quite well.
He has been. Sion gets locked in, as well as high-tier Janna for that bottom lane. So good picks all around so far, actually. These are great compositions that have so far been locked in.
Urgot support. No. If you are going to play Urgot, I recommend trying him as support, but I do not recommend trying Urgot. So.
Wait, what?
So, it's one of those, if you're going to do it this way. I don't think Keane's going to do it.
Wouldn't that be it? I banned him to play Urgot. I don't think that's the case, though. Smiles on their faces. I wonder if Cop will go for another Corki game. He has been absolutely loving that through and through since IPL 3. Pictures of Corki all over his bedroom. Oh!
Oh, baby.
All right.
Nice. So this is now our fourth NALCS player to get the Kalista lock-in.
New player. Nice.
The new challenger approaches here. Cop, I'm going to go all the way back to when he had Edward as a support on Curse. And he played a bunch of Draven that year. Up until that point, everyone was like, yeah, Cop's just this safe Caitlyn player, low mechanics, plays safe. He's like, you know what? I'm going to play Draven and get really, really good at Draven. Yeah. And he actually did. He started to draw Draven bans towards the end of the year.
That was big for him, too, because a lot of people thought that transition would never come. He'd be the utility AD in the back, providing help.
So Cop is actually a player who, even though it wouldn't seem like it if you know his reputation of being a passive player, can play very mechanically complex AD carries. I can't wait to see how he plays his Kalista here, or what Coast does in their last few picks. I was discussing with the other analysts earlier how Kalista actually does have counters in the game, specifically like single target crowd control, that people that can get directly on top of her. Rengar and Ahri, if they play it just right, can do that.
Boom,
it's
boom.
no Vi jungle that can just destroy her in one click. This will be an interesting display of Kalista.
Yeah, especially for Cop. We talked about that already, but you have to press it again. It's kind of a very aggressive champion for him. Waiting to round out now what should be the mid lane. We do have a Lissandra on the board, so that is flexing, but usually towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, their last pick, as you said, can be flexed to mid or top lane. They know what they're laning against. San top, Ahri mid. So what does Keane want to go against? I'd love to see a Hecarim.
Ooh. Production.
You can always throw Corki mid lane.
Throws in their combo word with the Rengari combo I have been alerted to. So this is what Coast has picked up. Rengari. Oh, wait a minute.
All right.
Okay.
Corki mid. Or Kalista mid?
Where there, I don't know. There's no bind there. You're missing out on something. But then again, Thresh isn't exactly
you want.
Right. You don't get the lane W, but this is true. You can bind anyone you want.
It is not to be. That would be a really bad matchup.
So
you would be entering Foxfire range to auto attack if you're laning against Ahri's Kalista. But Keane had us for a sec because he plays Hecarim and stuff.
He does, and he plays Urgot. Saint said he loves to play Urgot, so that's just Keane. He's a mean guy. So the compositions now being planned out by both teams. Looks like Coast is going to be going pretty aggressive this game with a little bit of safety if they get overzealous with that composition.
Yeah. It's a lot of damage that we're going to be seeing out from Gravity on here, whereas Coast does have a nice run you down feel to their composition, but just the one tank in Sion. So if they don't get the right type of catch with their initial run, they may struggle.
And hopefully we see some Sion ults this game, because we had a lack of Sion ults in our last Sion game.
I have to be corrected. The Sion Spartan game, he did actually use his Sion ultimate in that one. Yeah.
Okay.
But
so once again, we want to know how you think this game will go in real time. Yeah, that's right. We'll update it. Tweet hashtag CST win or hashtag GV win to @LOL Esports, and we'll be tallying your votes throughout the game. Also tallying how many times Sion ults, and we hear the gong coming out. So they're not even out of the fountain just yet. So that tally is at 0, Jatt.
Yeah, this is our final game of week 2 now.
It is. A lot has panned out. Nobody's exploding in the standings. Nobody's been undefeated. Everybody is vulnerable here in the NALCS to a loss, and we have seen this so far. Some more than others in unfortunate circumstances. There it is, the connection with Bunny FuFuu as they're hopping down the bottom lane. So as we get into this one, there's a lot of attention on the matchup in the mid lane. Saintvicious thinks his guy, he has the edge.
So Keane versus Jesiz, they played before, of course, when we got into the LCS. I think they have very different play styles. Jesiz has that kind of like EU mid laner play style where he just wants to farm and pick these pokey like caster type champions and try to group up and do things like that. And Keane, he wants to play like Zed and got a bunch of Hecarim, like all sorts of crazy champions, and he wants to kill the other guy. Like he wants to play whatever is going to counter your champion, and he doesn't care how wacky it is. It could be Urgot, like he loves Urgot. Like Keane will play all the off-the-wall picks, and I think that's a big strength for us against Jesiz.
Yeah. Corki this time with Barrier, the summoner spell when you want to kill the other guy. Well, actually, it's mainly to guard himself against the burst from Jesiz, and he will kill him with the auto attack if he so chooses. Interesting thing happened at level 1 during that Saintvicious piece there. It looked like Coast was laying in wait for Gravity to try and get a deep ward, but they guessed the wrong lane that they would be placing the deep ward in, and now Gravity actually has a pretty great trap set up if they decide to go for it. I think they're hoping to catch Sion doing the suicide, and they're actually going to get a kill out of it. They're finally counterplaying this. Cris, he either flashes or he's dead, or both.
Wow, that's really going to put that lane behind. We'll have to see what Hauntzer can do. So keeping that in comparison, flash down now. May see some return to Cris, but now as well in the bottom lane. So far away, Cop won't even have level 2 in time as Mash and Sheep get it. And that should be the aggressive lane for them. So we'll see how they can coordinate that together.
I've been waiting for that to happen with all these risky suicide strats for Sion. It's like, what if someone just walks there and punches him? Just the one time.
That's true.
But there was no real way of sneaking up on him. That I feel like they actually should have gone around the long way with just like one person, because they know how low he's going to be getting anyway. Wait in the brush near the wraiths and then just hit him. I think that was actually a missed opportunity off a really great idea from Gravity.
And also might have got to not flash right away and get, that hit or something.
I think it could have actually easily been played into a first blood.
All right, so we've seen it once. We'll see it again maybe with a successful and kill secure. Impaler, he's all safe on the top side as the lanes have matched up evenly here. That's the level 2 we were talking about. Cop even has it before Bunny FuFuu, so he was later to get to lane. But there's just too much safety being played by them. Mash and Sheep have had pretty good lanes to themselves. Sheep, we know, is somebody who's not afraid to make plays. But Mash Me, as of recent, we know that he got caught by that binding, so definitely looking to avoid those situations this game.
Spell Shield will help with that.
Yes, it will.
Sure. Although, this is the matchup, even though the support is a different pick here. Kalista versus Sivir, that the Masteryless Piglet got crushed on by Sneaky.
Right.
This one, at least Mash got to get the shove going early because of Gravity doing that invade, so it'll take a little bit of time for Gravity to start getting the lane pushed back out, or if they can ever get to that point, in order for Kalista to take over this. As of now, Mash needs to make sure to never let that lane shove go. Otherwise, he runs a pretty big risk of getting bullied by Kalista Thresh.
Cop did a good job, actually. Looks like he met just the right amount of minions, or didn't lose any in lane, as he's tied up, even being late to getting there. 4 minutes in, no pressure from the junglers yet, as we saw Saintvicious just go back low health after Gromp, and this will be Impaler's back. Actually, he already did to get that pink ward, so he's going to be able to stay for a little bit longer. Should have that smite onto Krugs. Cris faring well. Nothing from Saint. They figure somebody would have come top lane. A lot of crowd control from Hauntzer, but they didn't really act on that. His flash will be up in just about 2 minutes.
Yeah, Sion's such a great laner. He can usually keep the wave shoved and then walk away with his giant shield. Also, I want to see Impaler's Rengar here. It's one of the main things that actually helped qualify Coast for the LCS. His carry performances on Rengar. Actually opting for the full clear on Rengar instead of shopping early, so he'll be able to pick up a plethora of wards. Or actually a longsword. All for a little bit more damage.
Well, he is one of the ones that takes to Rengar a little bit more, played it the first week in his first game. And he sticks to it. Looks like he might put some pressure towards the bottom lane. He did actually just farm out that side of the jungle, so this could be to go for something big if he doesn't get his camps up anytime soon. Mashmi and Sheep keep this pushed up as well, but are playing safe. I figured Saint would be having to do a lot of work right now with all his lanes pushed up, but his lanes are doing well.
Yeah, pretty much just a farm the lane strategy right here. I mean, Keane knows against the Ahri pick, since he got to pick that Corki last, he expects to perform in that lane. Is doing so.
Yes.
Even with just the longsword, and that's the advantage. Impaler, though, he's got brush control.
So it is the level 4 gank coming from him. They get Sheep, and the disengage of the Howling Gale helps to prevent a bit of that damage. Very nice gank by Impaler. They got him to come up for a few jumps in the brush.
Burn the flash and helps secure Coast's ability to keep that wave shoved in. That's really what's differentiated this matchup from when Sneaky played against Piglet. Outside of the Masteries, of course. Piglet not having Masteries in that game. Yeah, I mean, Sivir can survive in any matchup if she can keep the lane shoved. The instant Sivir loses the ability to keep the lane up like this, she is at large risk to getting bullied. But Mash is doing a great job. Honestly, Saintvicious should come down there and just help them push the lane back. That way, they can actually take advantage of Kalista.
Looks like he may actually try to do just that. Oh, Mash gets hooked on that one. We saw him just use the spell shield previously up the lane. This is going to be some big damage. He walked it in for the further flag and drag. Great job by Saintvicious and crew.
Yeah, even better job by Bunny FuFuu. I'm pretty sure they had the spell shield on cooldown. It's a 22-second cooldown on spell shield, and he got him to burn it previously with his 15-second cooldown on death sentence. So he used that 7-second window to land a hook onto Mash, and it was timed with the Saintvicious gank. Just
smallest of windows.
Play by Bunny FuFuu.
Great job. And you can actually see as you look at the top of your screen, both of the top laners felt that they would have been helpful in that fight and then canceled their ultimates. So those are down.
The teleports.
Yep. Top lane teleports are not going to be up for quite a while. Cris, however, still controlling this lane.
Gonna scream at some minions.
Roar of the Slayer. Rawr.
Oh, missed the cannon. Cris actually messing up a few CS there. That he didn't have to, though.
All right, so it looks like Cop finally going to back. They get their lane pushed as they wanted to. We'll see what he puts under his belt. Corki with the Sheen in mid lane, trying to put out some damage. Keane looks to play like he does. Saintvicious says he loves to get kills in that mid with whatever champion is playing. So he goes for the power first.
Yeah, and because of that, obviously while the fight was happening bottom, Jesiz used his ult and Ignite. Keane ended up having to burn both summoners.
Yep.
So technically, Keane is in a bit of trouble in that mid lane. Impaler hits level 6, they'll know Corki has cut a flash. Jess's ultimate will be back up, and that's a very real gank path for Impaler's Rengar, considering this bottom lane is consistently being pushed. Coast is really pushing all of their lanes heavily right now.
I was expecting to see Impaler go mid lane there to help Jesiz out. He seems safe enough. Spirit rushes up.
He's not level 6 yet, that's the thing. As soon as Impaler's level 6 on Rengar.
Yeah, that's a good point. Quickly getting over to that camp so he can take Wolves and then maybe make a move towards the mid lane. This is going to be blue over to Keane, hopefully being able to spit out that damage now. The lockdown happens, but the channel is through, so he connects with it. And Hauntzer is actually going to be able to take some big damage, I should say. Cris has
big old Sion
consistently been a big player for Coast in that top lane. It's one of the lanes they have not had to worry about. It's got to be nice for a jungler.
Pretty interesting, though. Cris is using so much of his threat to keep the lane pushed, but he is sacrificing some CS to do so. The fact that Hauntzer is actually up in CS is pretty impressive since he's been on his turret the whole game.
Under and behind, getting pushed out with the roar.
The shoving is over for MASH. Now that the Hurricane has been completed.
Absolutely. Being able to rend multiple targets at a time, get a bit of that refund as well. We've seen a few different builds from Kalista's, but usually that Runon's first. Sometimes any Blade.
I like the Runons.
Yeah.
A whole lot. Especially against a Sivir. They need to be able to shove the lane back. And here's that mid lane gank we talked about. Will Keane see this thing and jump away? The answer is yes.
Ooh. Oh, he hit the first one, he still got the charm! Jesiz, can he yo-yo the orb? Can't get another one out. And Keane keeps himself safe. So that was without flash and barrier he was able to get out.
Yeah, really surprising there that Impaler wasn't able to land the bola on that gank. He waited around for so long. I think he just straight up missed it. Because it didn't look like Keane... No, he hit a minion with it. No,
okay.
Impaler hit a minion with his point-blank bola when he was going for Keane. Watch that minion.
Oh, it does.
He stuck it right there. That's the only reason Keane was able to stay alive there.
It's like that minion reached out and said, I'm taking that. Oh, nice spell shield. But that also means the spell shield is down. Last time that meant Mashmi's life. Here he's going to play it very safe. And they also don't have that ward control. That's Gravity's in the tri-brush, so they are backing almost in this instance. We saw Mashmi just hitting it on that. But it looks like Cop's going to keep the wave pushed. All the attempts.
Thresh is still in there after the hook. They got to be respectful. You can see how much more difficult that lane is feeling now for the Sivir.
One ultimate.
Yeah. Got him. Oftentimes that Sion ult is used very defensively. He wasn't able to bait out much, though. He really has to respect the Jarvan Cataclysm because it will cancel his ultimate.
Just run straight into it. When somebody was mentioning Sion flying down the lane and then Azir just puts his wall up.
Yeah.
You're like, ouch. Oh, all the stuff you wish you could see. 2K gold lead for Gravity here. They've actually been very good at getting that gold lead to themselves. Saintvicious staying true to having a hand in First Bloods to really help his team going, and quickly to the double Sightstone here for Gravity.
There were so many of those things a second ago.
Like Scuttle cleared out, and Impaler's going for the gold.
That was weird. Felt like I was
seeing things,
watching something else there, seeing ghosts.
Don't say. There are souls on the map, chat. You might be. 76-24 is Coast showing a strong team out of expansion in some of their games, but that late game decision is definitely weighing the odds of this vote in the favor of Gravity. Not a lot of people feel sure enough about that late game decision making here.
Yeah.
Hopefully Coast can prove them wrong in the last game in week 2.
Well, it's really feeling like Gravity's pulling ahead in the early game here. Now that Cop has controlled that bottom lane with Kalista, I'm yet to see whether Coast will be able to shut that Kalista down in team fights. Saintvicious' ganks have provided more pressure than Impaler's ganks because of that damn minion in the mid lane that messed over Impaler's gank in there.
Yeah, imagine what that would have opened up if that wasn't there.
Probably a lot. That was a really unfortunate play, and that's not even... You could say it's a mistake, but not much Impaler can do about that. It's just bad luck more than anything.
We'll get Impaler going a little bit more. Help him to at least catch up to where Saintvicious is with his assist. And almost finished on that Warrior. So chilling into Warrior and a Trailblazer into Warrior for each side. Doesn't look like they'll get a switch in those items at this point. Good timing for Impaler to be taking red. We'll see if Coast can now start to put some pressure in the mid lane. The roams now starting to come in from Sheep. That means the wards are going to be placed out by his Sightstone. But will they be able to outdo the double Sightstone of Gravity?
And specifically, Saint's gone with his double Sightstone, I think, to get deeper vision control onto the Rengar. That is the one thing that could get this game out of control is if Impaler starts getting a few good ganks off. Whereas the late game damage, it feels like, from Gravity's team will carry them. We may end up seeing another passive farm fest here by Gravity. as they just try and control the map with wards.
Good use of Dragon. All the Kalista ghosts up and down the river.
10 gold at a time.
Yeah, that's true.
Eden Coast.
Ooh. Okay. Impaler's just taking out the pink. I don't think he saw that get placed either. They might be trying to act on something. They have the push for Jesiz.
So Keane has lost this mid lane.
Yeah. It didn't go bad for him, but it didn't go well. He wasn't able to really push Jesiz back. Got all the farm he wanted in lane to be impactful in the fights. Oh.
It's a good time for Gravity to go for Dragon.
Yeah.
Only because, for some reason, when Coast killed that mid lane, they didn't use it to establish Dragon control. They tried to establish it with their top lane control. They are TPing in, though. Might be a fight.
Trying to see if there's another one. Cris is already into the fight. That's going to be the Cataclysm onto Jesiz. Spirit Rush looks like it's already been charged out by him, so he has to flash out of the fight. Cris is right in the middle. Last bit of mana used there, and here comes Impaler now, flying to the back line on the squishies. Will he be able to take another one out? Hauntzer seems to be pinched in here, and what a spread out fight that it looks like Coast is able to take control of. Hauntzer with a sliver. Cop trying to carry, can't get the rent off.
Sheep's Janna shield
damage.
right at the end saved him from that. And a very close fight after the Dragon there goes to Gravity. Jess is really getting aggressive on that RME.
Good again.
Obviously, Gravity was a little low from the Dragon, and Saintvicious desperately tries to jump in. Big thing here is Saint did not have his Warrior enchantment because of his Sightstone, so his combat effectiveness was actually fairly low as far as level 8 Jarvans go. And then Gravity got a little bit spread out by the initiation from Coast, and since it was in the jungle, Impaler could remain with the chase through, which ended up giving him a 2-for-1.
Sheep probably wishing he had the Mage Eyes by now, but he doesn't. 101 on the support. Coast doing a pretty good job of gaining early control of this game. See level 11's mid lane and top. Solos on both sides, so they're hitting that power spike right now. I don't know if it was used in the last fight, but we are even. So the next one should look just the same. 23.8 to that on Gravity's side here. 17 minutes in. The Dragon's really the only thing that Gravity has in their name. Should be able to pick this up on the side of Coast. Looking for Coast to really get their comp together. Once they have everybody, Cris can fly into a fight, get Mashmi's ultimate in. There's the chase. Hopefully that, like we were saying, they stick to you and keep catching up in that fight.
And I think Cris really needs to prioritize heavy armor itemization now. Since the laning phase is running to a close against Hauntzer. So a couple things. I really like the Lissandra in a double AD composition, since normally you just want to stack armor against double AD. Keane is gone with Corki, which will be a little bit of magic damage, but still, a heavy armor tank will be hard for Corki to cut through. More so, though, because Lissandra can be so picky with her target selection, it forces everyone to build a little bit of magic resist as well, even with just a single primary magic dealer on the team. Is a really nice champion synergy there, but that's why Cris had to start the Spirit Visage, and it's just kind of more so why he wants to go for Frozen Heart later, because Hauntzer won't want to use his spells on Sion in team fights. Therefore, the magic resist won't be useful outside of lane.
Hoping he can get a little beefier now. He's in the bottom lane on that Glacial Shroud trying to farm up. 148 to 146 was how that top lane fared out. As now we are seeing pretty broken up. It's going to be one of the last outer turrets, or rather the last outer turret here for Coast onto Gravity. That's 3-0, which means their side of the map is completely open. As we see Saint going pretty hard here on the bottom. This should be Cop. Actually, I thought somebody else was behind him, but that was just Renz and another minion. Arrows, and Cris goes down. Great job.
That's a big investment, though. It's going to be pushed on the other side by Coast. I mean, Gravity was trying to get something back there from losing the outer 3 turrets, but they're not getting any turrets out of that. Just a kill, and there is Rengar.
Going for another one. Keane could get hit up here, and that's going to be the get going to Impaler. Very nice job. Secures that kill. 3-3.
Wow.
Kills left and right. I feel like it's going to get a lot bloodier now that these turrets have fallen down.
Especially with Impaler and his aggressive Rengar play, willing to jump into targets. Cop, though, getting farm as well. The game really picked up in pace in the last few minutes.
See what happens.
So basically, Coast was the ones to draw first turret blood by taking 3 other turrets, and that was the result of them honestly keeping all 3 lanes shoved in for the first 50 minutes in the game. Those little chips that they were able to do on the turrets gave them that edge, but that was all forfeit. Just recently, the kill onto Cris, which gave Cop a ton of free time on the turret, and then after the dive the Coast did, they were so low they couldn't actually defend their own turrets, so they give up essentially that 1 kill onto Keane, which I say isn't worth it for an entire mid-game of pressure forfeit, because now the turrets are close to equal.
Seems that most of the decisions that are made incorrectly in the early part of the splits will happen in the mid-game. Every team kind of admits to that, saying this is when we flounder. We don't really know where we want to go when Dragon's not up, when the wards happen. So we'll see that from both teams. And we see that Gravity has taken a little bit back when they were given the chance. Still down about 1,000 gold, but this Dragon's going to change all of that. I'm afraid for Gravity in these fights if they don't hit their shots right. Hauntzer does have the AoE, but there's a lot of dipping and dashing and targets to focus here for Coast once that fight starts.
Yeah,
it'll be tricky.
Heavy match cooldown, big item breakpoint there. Cop finishing his Bloodthirster, which, with the Hurricane shielding him to stack up the Bloodthirster shield faster, can be incredibly effective. Obviously, Hauntzer does have his teleport, and depending on how long Gravity can dance out this Dragon, will give Hauntzer some pushing time on the top lane. Cop's got to push that lane really quick, otherwise they're just going to forfeit the Dragon altogether. They may end up doing that. They don't have the vision control.
No, I was going to say they might want to get some wards in there as well. Cop can only go as far as that last lane. He's going to get taken out by Coast easily.
Great sweeping by Coast.
2 for 2 on that.
Yeah, now they stand on a pink ward. They really just want to catch Keane on the chat.
Hauntzer, he's backing up. They're saying, we don't know where they are. Make sure you can teleport. Get out of range of Cris.
Oh, they're running.
Funny FuFuu dives in. He goes for the hook. He actually doesn't hit the target he wants. They drop Saintvicious immediately. So a further Dragon coming out of this one will easily be Coast if they have the numbers. Cop, he's going to get hit up, but he does take down Jesiz. That's going to be the hits from Mash. He stays alive. The rest of the team on the backline still has enough damage. And this is a bit of the AoE coming into play. Now the lockdown that they have, pulling up 4 kills. Bunny FuFuu was the first one they went on, but it just goes to show you who Coast really wanted.
A couple of things there for Coast really fell in their favor and allowed them to capitalize on that aggression. First off, the vision control was better by Coast. That's why they were able to make this play. But the fact that they could kill Saint right before his ult went down, and the fact that Cop didn't have a rend there to finish off, I think it was Mash at the end.
Yep. They were kind of
swung that very close fight. Diving straight into the Jarvan Lissandra is super dangerous, but the fact that Jarvan ult didn't go off. I mean, they locked down Saint, and he just was trying to get his combo off. I think he was inside a charm for a second there, couldn't actually get his ult off just in time. And then watch Cop here, because he flanks down to really get this kill. And he had stacked up about 3 spears on a Mash. I thought it was more. That was my bad on the first watch, but he couldn't quite finish him. Look how low both of them went at the end of that.
Which means if they were rended,
yeah,
it would be a dead Sivir. However, Dragon probably still would have gone to Coast. Gravity in those fights a little jumbled, but they were able to get a few kills on some priority players. We saw Cop now 3, 1, and 2. He's able to get some more attack speed in that inventory. And now 2, 3, and 0 for Keane. Looks like he's going to have a Bloodthirster as well, second.
And Mash getting the Phantom Dancer as well is making Sivir really powerful at this point in the game. It's of utmost importance for Mash that he has as much auto attack damage as possible against Kalista, because that is one of the things that you can reuse to counter Kalista. If she ever gets in range to hit you, just make sure you can hit back. That's the most basic of things. Yeah. That's why Graves is really good against Kalista, because he has the True Grit passive that just makes him generally win auto attack trades. If Mash can get enough of an item lead, he's going to be able to do that as Sivir.
Now this is a kind of what do you think, because we may not know, but as a Sivir, do you even chance the boomerang, or do you go for full auto attacks? Because you're probably going to miss that boomerang damage and waste time.
I think a chance the boomerang is running towards you or running away from you.
Right.
But if you're in point-blank combat, maybe not.
No. definitely a difficult champion to play against. With all that movement, you got to consider every possibility. Oh!
Nice,
Locks
Cris.
him on the flag and drag, pops him up as well with the decimating, and they will decimate the rest of what's left of Saintvicious after he uses just about everything to get out.
Cris with a big timeout play there on Saintvicious, using his ultimate during the flag and drag, and now Coast continuing to push down, using that Sivir mobility in the Sion tank line.
Yeah, he's a meat shield right now. He throws on Soul Furnace. Nothing can really touch him. And you can see Gravity is respecting that. Really the first team that's kind of been able to take it to Gravity, but this is Coast with the lead now. This is kind of where it gets the scariest for them. The late game decisions have to be right here, and they got to stick to their guns. See this play though.
So first off, he slows Saint, but here's the big thing. He procs his Sion ultimate for a quarter of a second, and since it does stun and briefly knock up everyone what it collides with, it cancels Saint's EQ combo there, allowing the Sivir ult and mash to come in to finish up the kill.
It was just an unwanted chest bump.
Yeah.
He was being friendly, chest bump too hard. We've seen what can happen. People fall over on stage. It's all right. They get up. 8-5. We're now cresting 25 minutes into the game. We haven't really talked about too much of Jesiz, as he had a few plays earlier. He's going to be in this fight now, in that Deathfire grasp, looking for that to zero somebody out, but they are not getting the fights they want. Now, because Gravity's getting the wards that they need.
Well, Coast is trying to not let Gravity breathe. As soon as Saintvicious revives, they go and kill him again. Saintvicious comes back again, they pop a Rengar ult in the blue side jungle. This time, they were able to dodge out for a bit, and then a Sheep Tornado steals the blue buff, which just kind of adds insult to injury.
Gromp steals, blue buff steals, Janna's all over stealing.
Baron steals.
Smite is overrated. Howling Gale, man.
Yeah, Keane not timing his damage properly.
Oh, how do you miss every minion? That's just skill. That's what that is. Cop, because he knows he's safe right now. The team is coming up behind him, so he can stay right in the face of Cris here without any worry. Good push here by Mash in the bottom lane. He has the vision and kind of help from Sheep crossing the river. But he won't get too much damage on the turret. So each team kind of has their own agenda right now. Being stopped on the other side, however, by Coast, or Gravity. No bottom turret for Coast.
No, and a lot of this will factor around this next dragon fight. It's actually not that important as far as getting the second dragon. 26 minutes into the game, unless the team is starting to close in on 5 dragons or trying to get their first dragon, the second dragon, which is turret damage, doesn't have that big of an impact outside of just making you closer to those 5 dragons. I feel like the teams will fight over it because they eventually will want to get that. But if the dragon is just given up because they don't have ward control or map control, it is not the end of the world. In fact, if you're Gravity right now and you don't have vision control in front of this dragon, I would almost say to just give it up. Get farm on your carries, play it safe, try and outlast this Rengar, Sion, Ahri, who are all power spiking right now.
Yeah.
Rengar with some amazing ults, Ahri with the DFG, Sion with the tank items before last whispers can be built up. It might be wise for Gravity to just back off and farm.
Without having that vision, it does get scary. We saw Saint, who also picked himself up that sight stone for double. You were saying get that ward in for Impaler deep inside their jungle. Without that, it's very, very scary to be played in this situation. Impaler, however, being seen in that bottom lane may give Gravity the opening that they need. But they aren't actually going to take it. They're afraid of this fight. They know the AoE could really have an impact on their team.
Gravity's hoping for the perfect fight, it seems, here. They need to get a good initiation if they want this to work off.
We know they can be patient.
Here comes Rengar.
Patient with the lead. We'll see how patient they are when they're trying to get the lead. Great Monsoon to break the fight up, but here comes back in Saintvicious and the rest. Impaler dives in strong with some good damage going onto the back line. That Saintvicious goes down. Jesiz will fall. Here's Cop now. Having a heyday. Another one to come up for Cop. He's just going to go ahead and run this one out, getting himself disengaged from the death ball that is Sion and his passive, and a great fight. They waited it out. They're only able to take out one more than they got taken down.
Well, the big thing about this one is Gravity picked that fight. They flanked the team that was trying to flank them. Impaler got in on that fight really late.
Yeah.
And Gravity did pump out a lot of damage onto Jesiz right at the start of that fight, which allowed them to win that in the long run. Nice play by Gravity, taking a risky fight and making it work in their favor.
So the gold lead now being closed by Gravity. Big plays all around. These guys are making it work from behind.
Yeah.
Patience has been key.
So it was actually Kopp getting DFG'd that prompted Gravity to do this, but watch where Rengar is. Like, he's so far away, whereas Lissandra is ulting everyone for damage and everyone's trapped in the Cataclysm, making Impaler pretty useless in this fight. Hauntzer as well gets enough damage down onto Jesiz that he can close him down to pretty much that he actually ended up killing him. And since the catch was never actually done onto Kopp, he just had to hate it with that Hurricane and Bloodthirster.
The one you think they would focus, but Kopp, he just goes off by himself.
Well, they tried to focus him is the thing. That was the initiation.
Yeah, the Deathfire Grasp hit.
Jesiz jumped right on him, but as soon as he threw out his DFG, it was before the charm. Kopp burned his flash, and it wasn't Impaler who was the first person to jump on him. If we were to do that fight again from Coast's perspective, like what would have been a better fight is not trying to flank, ulting from the mid lane with Rengar, and getting the empowered Bola onto Kopp to root him in place, stop him from jumping around and get rid of him at the start of the fight. Easier said than done to a Kalista.
Yeah. Mentioned that single target lockdown, but you got to get to her first, especially on the back line of this team. Now Gravity just hanging out on their own side. Still safe. I think that's just pretty much the story of Gravity. Looking to build up that 3,000 gold deficit. Looking at items across the board. Breakpoints have pretty much been hit nicely by Kopp at 4-1 and 4 as he puts another BF sword in his pocket. He's already got some high tier damage in that situation. Zanya's as well for Hauntzer, so they can start making their own plays, especially if Coast wants to start diving in. We haven't seen teleport from Cris to start these fights or really use the Scion ultimate as well.
Yeah. I mean, he did have that nice Scion ultimate to stop Saint's escape, but that's about it for now, as far as effective Scion ult. Gravity pulling back in this one. Coast had that mid-game power spike for a little bit, but I wonder if this late game's coming in the damage of Corki and Kalista.
Yeah.
If they cannot get assassinated by Jesiz and Rengar. But here they come again. This time...
Oh, that's going to be the assassination. They actually got the full stack onto Keane. That's the Bola strike stunning him up. But the teleport was a little slow. They second-guessed the entire engage there.
Yeah.
And they start to back out.
It wasn't a clean engage. And this time, instead of continuing to follow up, they remembered what happened last time and said, all right, guys, let's not lose the game here at 31 minutes. Let's wait on the relatively short cooldown of Rengar ultimate and try again later.
Still an impressive thing to see, especially in a tight moment like that you can call the audible and have everybody on the same page.
Oh boy.
Not lose anybody as a straggler. Ooh, very, very close. Just because you're walking with your team doesn't mean you're safe if you're the last person. A good rule of thumb to remember. And we see that Mashme realizes
They're just going to push that top lane.
Yeah.
Instead of following through.
Are they?
They could have.
Should be.
Both teams are like, no, guys, we don't want a base race. Go back. That's a game of chicken where neither guy starts their car.
Nope, wait, they're going back to it. Now they're revving their engines. Looks like Impaler doesn't even want this one, though. Saintvicious, will he try the dive?
Yep, because they're split
goes
up.
for the full ultimate. So if now Impaler were to flash, he would flag and drag to continue. Nicely played by Saint, the team, and Smite is now not an option for them. Actually, his Smite's down too, so
this is an aggressive call.
Scary.
Coast still in the topside jungle, but they are flanked again. Saint and the rest of Gravity can peel to one side.
This is the AoE. Oh my god, they explode Jesiz. He doesn't even get a chance. How is Cris not the first guy into this fight to knock people up? It could give Gravity the chance to focus around, but it looks like Coast is actually reorganized perfectly. That's going to be big kills from Mashme in the fight. But Cris has been so big, and I guess the fight controls so well from Sheep as well.
Yeah, even with the immediate lockdown, Lissandra onto Jesiz, he's still got his Deathfire Grasp, Foxfire, pretty much his full combo up by the time he got blown up. He killed Keane right at the start of the fight. And then they were also able to get Kopp in the chaos. Yeah, Keane, somehow he dies. It was too much of a mess. A lot of that damage was actually from Mash. I don't think it was a full combo by Ahri. But then Kopp has nowhere to jump there. He kind of jumps into a wall a little bit instead of over the wall and can't escape from Mash's single target damage. So, still a really dangerous call to go on to Baron there, opening themselves up to that type of counterplay. A mistake there by Gravity for sure.
And I think we're seeing Cris get to a point where he actually just can't be killed in these fights. They don't have enough to keep throwing at them after using their ultimates. Also, Mashme Like we said, that binding that he got hit by to cost Coaster last game would haunt him. He's got a McHale's for himself, a spell shield, and a Quicksilver stash. I think he's going to be safe this game.
Yeah, Lissandra's also a bunch more reliable in the Dark Binding, so it's necessary they get that to guard themselves. So that was more of a scouting ultimate by Impaler. They now know where Gravity is. Will they try and set up a trap on the backside?
Good ward.
Mash is getting so strong on Sivir. Unless they can take him down.
Also got the Furious to stay a little bit more speed in these fights. That could be Hauntzer going in. They get Cris. That's the guy I said they may not be able to take down, and they're using just about everything they got on him. That means the rest of the fight could fall flat for Coast, but they disengage, and he took 5 members and only half health.
Yeah, well now Coast can threaten Baron while Gravity tries to do Dragon. I feel like if Gravity just sends 4 in the general vicinity of Baron, it will be enough to dissuade them from doing so as Cobb quickly kills this Dragon. But they're waiting in for a catch. Nope.
There's the Dragon. So that's something that is known, and now that's 3-1. Coast really not too worried about it just yet, though. We've seen 3 Dragons go to a team and still be won.
Chris, way out of position.
You can't do that twice. Now you're getting a little ahead of yourself, and Gravity will start to take hold. Nice shot, keeping Jesiz out of the fight. Saintvicious tries for the second time. They say, you can't fool me twice. The charm goes out actually just under the armpit of Saint there. He doesn't get caught up. Hauntzer misses his W as well. Nothing's connecting for these guys, but they're just able to keep the fight on over and over. Impaler dodges that one. Now on to Jesiz. Gravity has just about everything they want in this fight, choosing who they want, when they want, and Coast is running for the hills.
Just trying to keep track all off of the tank being down for Coast. As soon as Coast has no tank, they have no fight. And they have to scatter. Another Baron attempt coming up for Gravity. And no Ahri to mess him over this time. Impaler, no flash. This would be tricky.
Not gonna happen.
This is tricky.
They grab it. Oh, Keane goes over the wall. It looks like they're gonna take down Impaler as well. Gravity read Coast like a book on this one. That was nice. That was like an alley-oop hook. He was just making it look good for him. They're gonna be taking down the turrets here. The crowd is loving the pressure that just got put onto this game.
Yeah, and with that kill Cobb picks up at the end of that, he's actually 3 kills away from a career milestone. 3 more kills will give him 500 kills in the LCS.
It's pretty big.
It's a feat not many 80 carries have accomplished.
I actually didn't think we'd see that number this game, but somehow we're getting to that point. And games have been longer, so I don't know why I thought we wouldn't see it. We've been seeing some quite long games.
Because we've had low kill games.
Very
I think it's
low.
A safe assumption that he wouldn't have got it this game.
Well, at least we're almost to 30 in this one. Almost a kill a minute. We're a little behind, but maybe they'll make up for it.
And his item build now. He's gone with a more crit-tastic build and a less defensive one. Phantom Dancer and Infinity Edge. We've seen Blade of the Rune King and Bloodthirster from Sneaky's build the other day. This one is Cobb really just trying to cut through the tank line, which, as we see, if Cris is way too far ahead, is very possible to do.
So Gravity now in control of the map, or at least Coast giving them the control they have right now. The fight would be pretty even. It looks like they're just going to use Baron very safely to take these turrets out. Coast respecting
and I mean,
that.
they're double AD with the Jarvan flag for even more attack speed. If they get to free hit a turret, it goes down almost instantly.
That's a really good point. They can put all of these attributes on top of each other and quickly drop Coast turrets. They're not really in any danger of lanes pressing up from the mid or the bottom side, so they can focus on this and hopefully get a fight they want on the engage.
Yeah, this is what they have to be careful of, though, is the charms over the wall or even the base gates in general. I don't think they can push in on this. Maybe Coast tries to turn something here. There's the ult. And the counter engage!
Oh, the Kalista chucks him out, and then he's going to take Buddy FuFuu to safety. Mash means get hit by Saintvicious, but he stays alive for only so long. All the crowd control release that he had is gone, and he's still dead. Gravity moves into the turrets. Cris is in passive mode. He may get the kill on Buddy FuFuu, but it won't even matter. They have the damage to take down the turrets, still alive and still healthy.
And they still have Baron buffing and both 80 carries up, plus the minion wave. This could be the game for Gravity, Riv.
It's big when you have 280 carries, like you're saying, Jatt. You are able to drop the turrets even without Saint. It's a 38-minute game as they start on the Nexus turrets. About 30 seconds on 2 members that are very much needed by Ghost. And it looks like Gravity will be able to come up with the win. They go 19-5 in a 38-minute game.
And as the Nexus falls, Cop picks up his 500th kill.
No way.
In his LCS career,
Awesome.
9 for the game. Really down the stretch, Gravity able to punish the little mistakes by Coast. Cris getting caught out to give the Baron, and then Hauntzer with an engage at the end while Cris is trying to make yet another initiation.
Yeah.
Ends up ending the game. Gravity, after their first game of the LCS against Winter Fox, where they got trashed by a team with 3 subs, people were wondering what was going to happen with this team. They bought some jackets the next week. Yeah. Now they're 3-1, tied for first.
These guys are heavy.
Hauntzer, the real deal.
This guy as well. Now with the Kalista, can definitely go from passive to an aggressive AD carry. And they played the early game well. Saintvicious, again, a hand in first blood, as we always like to mention for him, getting himself around the map. We even saw some level 2s coming out from his Jarvan this weekend as they try to switch things up. A lot of teams tried to switch things up this weekend. It was good to see. But Coast, they need to figure out what they need to switch up.
It's true. Coast has been in a lot of close games. They're one of the only teams that can say every single game they were playing was in a winnable position at some point. Yet they walk out of week 2 of the LCS as a 1-3 team tied for last.
Incredible to think. You look at that roster, all veterans of the LCS, understanding how to play on this stage, but teams somehow getting the better of them towards the late game, where we've seen newer teams falter over and over again. Not this time. These new teams coming into the LCS are definitely ones you have to be worried about.
Yeah, Gravity definitely putting up a fight. I mean, they also took down Cloud9, who, while they haven't had the best of years, did show they can still play against Team Liquid earlier. All the pieces are beginning to fall into place. It's actually interesting to point out, because there's now 10 teams in the LCS, it won't be until the team's 9th game that they've actually done a round robin amongst everyone. So some of these teams that are 3-1 are based off of easy schedules. Some of them are based off of really difficult schedules. And I mean, we're going to know more as the season just continues to develop.